All right, it worked.
We're here! Yay!
Hello!
Hello, everyone.
Hello, and welcome to the third installment of our Iggle Comic Alliance Book Club Hangout Fun Times, where we talk about various trades and talk about what we liked, didn't like, and so on and so forth. This is a very special camp edition because we are talking about Lumberjanes, which I don't own the trade of. I just own all these floppies. Megan,
I've got
her trade.
Fancy to the max edition because it's all about friendship to the max.
I had my singles, but I put them in storage. I didn't have time to get them out before we started this.
I went down to the basement this morning and I was like, I'll just pull these out and read them. It's been like 2 years since they came out and I've read them.
Which is so crazy to me that it's been out for that long.
I know. If you would like to join along, feel free. You can tweet us just at the Travis. Are you on the Iggle Alliance Twitter?
Yes,
right now?
yes, I got it pulled up on my phone.
So you can tweet the Iggle Alliance Twitter or the IGGPP Camp Twitter if you want to ask us a question. If you were just like want to get on and chat with us, you can DM the camp account and I'll send you the link if you'd like to join us. We'll go ahead and start with introduction. Oh, geez, I just accidentally started my own. I started the video playing in a different video and then I myself playing in my own ears. It was creepy.
That would be weird.
Yeah. Why don't you guys introduce yourself?
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead, Travis. Kick us off.
I am Travis. I run the I help start like the Iggle Comic Book Alliance, and it's taken off really big, which is great. I do the pull list every week over on the site, and I just like to write. I'm a giant nerd who loves comics. I like very specific comics, and this is one of them. So yeah, that's me.
I'll use the same intro. I like very specific comics, and this is one of them.
We're gonna have to come up with some like questions for our intro, spice it up a little. But
okay.
I'm Megan, and I am trying to think of something different to say, and I'm losing it.
So here's one: if you were at a camp, and you saw something spooky outside your window at night, would you go chase it or not?
Ooh, I probably would not. No, that's not really my style. Although, if I had a bunch of camper friends like the Lumberjanes, I would go out in a group with them. So.
Right. I would so chase it. I'm just that kind of person.
You're Ripley!
I'm a Ripley! Well, we can get into that later!
Sorry. I just can't. I can't. The whole time I was reading it, but we'll get to that.
My name is Summer. I am busy typing and talking at the same time, so I just told someone they can Twitter us instead of tweet us.
Oh my god.
I have been
it works. It works, right?
Run the camp and organize things, and I do comics, and my Kickstarter, we got like $11,000 for our Ladies' Night Anthology comic Kickstarter. So Volume 4 will be coming out this autumn, probably closer to winter, but because it's Chicago, it gets winter here sooner. So this autumn, late autumn, we will be bringing more lady comics to the world, and I'm very excited because they're super cool. And that's about it for me. I know we've got some people that are going to be following along on Twitter as well. So just let us know if you have any questions. Like I said before, this month we are talking about Lumberjanes. And Lumberjanes came out in April of 2014. We were just saying it doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Oh my god, that's so weird.
According to my first issue, it was April 2014. And it came out with, like, people were really excited about it, and for good reason. Like, it's got an all-lady creative team going on. It's about, it kind of hits this market that people were really interested in, kind of this teen tween adventure story that's like very awesome friendship lady power. Noelle Stevenson and Grace Ellis are the writers on this first trade, and then Brooke Allen did the illustrations, and then I'm going to probably screw up this name, but colors by Martha Lejo, and letters by Aubrey Alice, something like that.
Right. And it was like super popular when it came out. I remember I couldn't find the issue for the longest time just because of how many people wanted this comic.
Yeah, I actually, the local comic book store, one of the local comic book stores, had Noelle in, and so like I actually have a variant cover that's signed by her.
Oh, I love that.
Like, you know, we all like dressed in plaid and went to the comic book store to get it. So it was really cool.
I'm really sad I don't have a like coonskin hat to be wearing for this hangout right now.
I know.
Right?
I said that like just a little bit ago, and then I was like, what if I get my fluffy cat and just put her on my
Put
head?
it on your head.
Right.
So there's my fluffy
Perfect.
cat over there in the window, and just imagine that fluffy bit is just right here.
On your head.
Yeah, yeah. So a brief plot summary for those of you who have never heard of Lumberjanes and have no clue what we're talking about. It's basically a group of 5 friends, and they're at a summer camp, and weird things are happening, very strange and unusual things, and so they're kind of exploring and getting to the bottom of this what's going on sort of thing. Yeah, go ahead, Travis.
Oh, it's just like really fun. Like I remember the like first issue, like just that like whole them stumbling upon like God, what was it? Was it the raccoons or like some sort of like 3-headed animal
Foxes.
thing?
3-eyed
Foxes. 3-eyed foxes.
Like just that like whole opening was just like, yes, this is the perfect comic. I love it. Like the atmosphere is just amazing in this book.
Yeah.
Love it so much.
I didn't read it when it came out, so my first introduction to Lumberjanes was just recently, last month, when I bought my to the max edition from my you know burned out comic book store. So it smells like campfire. Extra atmosphere here, you know. But from the very first moment, I loved it, and I immediately, you know, was messaging you guys saying this is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go into, I guess, the characters, because it's kind of a pretty character-driven book, I'd say. Like it's.
Yeah.
I remember reading this the first time and just picking up the first issue and like flipping through it and being like overwhelmed at all the various characters, because there's like 4 characters and you're kind of like
Who's
picking
who?
it up. Yeah, you're picking it up in the middle of this action sequence, and you're kind of just like, whoa, what's going on? I mean, their character designs are all very different, which I love about them, is that, you know, you have 5 ladies who look very different all over the spectrum of what teen girls look like, so that is fun, and that made it easier, but like I'm still kind of like, wait, which one is which name? I don't remember.
I definitely read the first issue a couple times to kind of figure out and look back like, okay, so that one's April and that one's Joe, because yeah, so you got April, Joe, Ripley, Molly, and Mal, and then of course you've got Jen and Rosie and Diane.
Yes.
I love me some Rosie.
Here are the main 5 on the cover.
Oh, yay!
This is the issue 2 cover.
I love that cover so much. I love all the covers for this comic.
All the covers are amazing.
Yeah. So one of the things we wanted to talk today about was, I guess, which characters we identified with and which ones we saw each other identify with. And we were briefly chatting a little bit before about how we think Travis is Ripley.
Travis is so Ripley.
I accept that. I feel like that is like so me. Like she's just very like hyper all the time.
And
like,
go get him. It's just like I'm going for it all the way, and so positive too.
Oh my God, you guys are making me so emotional right now. Oh my God, I love Ripley. Ripley has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, she's kind of like the youngest one, the smallest one, the little like bundle of energy. Definitely she was the one that I was like, oh, that one's Ripley. In every panel, you can definitely tell she's. Yes. I think my favorite Ripley moment is that they're in this chamber that has anagrams everywhere, and they're trying to escape, but they have to like decode the anagrams.
Yeah.
And so one of the anagrams is like pee on the seams, and so she's like, we have to pee on things to escape, and they're like, no, it's open sesame. Like, that's not how this works.
My favorite Ripley part is she's riding the raptor, people.
Oh my god, that's like my favorite part too. I love that part so much. Just like me.
And then there's, a couple pages at the end of that issue where it's like her and her raptor pet,
Yeah. Oh my god.
But yeah, so Ripley, it's all Travis.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing.
Summer, you were tougher. I wasn't quite sure. I feel like you were kind of like Molly, but kind of maybe a Joe. I don't know. I was going back and forth with who I think Summer is.
Right, I was thinking Joe, but I kept going back to Molly, but I kept going back to Joe. So
I have a hard time too. I definitely see myself as a Molly. But
that's what I lean towards most. Yeah.
I kind of lean towards a Molly April. I think
see?
Molly
Nice.
with like April tendencies, but definitely Molly is she's kind of like one of the calmer presences in the group. And she's often very unsure of herself, which I definitely identify with. Like, she's kind of just like, why am I here? What am I like? What's my role in this? I don't quite, am I doing the right thing? Not like right versus wrong, but just like, is this what's going to get us through this situation sort of thing? What am I doing here? Is this okay? Which I definitely identify with those insecurities. And then she's also the archer of the group.
That's why I identified you as most, because of the archery. For some reason,
I was thinking about that too. The sword fighting archery. I feel like it's just
Well, when I worked at summer camp, like one of the things I did was do the archery. So like I love doing archery. So that's one of the things that I like a lot. And I'm sure we'll get into it later, but they have playlists in the back of each of the issues, and I definitely just kind of like looking over the playlist was like, everything on Molly's playlist I kind of have in my iTunes, so
there you go.
Probably where I should be leaning to.
You're definitely a Molly. Like, I could definitely see it. Like, I can't go in between, so it's a good one.
That's where I was leaning.
Yeah, I had a hard time with Megan.
I'm still not sure about Megan. Like, I saw some of April. Like, April's the one I was leaning more toward. I don't know why. I just feel like April.
I love April. April is so strong. And in the I don't know if you have them in the trades or in the single issues, but in the to the Max edition, there is a portion in the back that's kind of like a character study of each of them, and it was talking about April. Seems the least likely of the group to attend camp for hardcore lady types because she's the most traditionally feminine. But then it talks about her strength, and she just kicks ass.
She literally like wins a arm wrestling contest against a statue.
And then throws a log across the creek. But I was going back and forth between myself with April and Joe. And
that's how I felt with you too.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, and both of them I tended to lean towards, but at different times. So
yeah, because Joe's very like analytical, and she does a lot of like the math puzzles, and like she's the one who memorized the
Fibonacci sequence.
Oh my God!
I was going to say the scout pledge. So they're like, does anyone know the scout pledge? And all the Lumberjanes look at Joe, and they're like, Joe, would you like to recite it? And she's like, okay.
Yeah, her playlist isn't quite. I mean, it's got some good stuff, like, Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds and some Bowie. Okay, so maybe I'm lying. I do love her playlist a lot. But I also love April's because she's got some Tegan and Sarah and some Slater Kinney on there.
Right. April's got a great playlist.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I need to create the playlist myself and just listen to them at work. So
yeah, I think somebody's done that on like you can probably find them on.
I'm sure Spotify. I'm gonna have to search for Lumberjanes because it's
Right.
awesome.
Those are my favorite
Yeah.
things, those mixtapes. I'm like, oh my god, this is beautiful.
Yeah. So I guess character-wise, are there any of the 5 that you don't identify with, or you're not quite sure how to where they fit in?
That is a good question.
It is.
Hold on, let me look through like the pictures again of like the character. I'm like trying to just
I don't feel like we got to know Mal as much as the other girls.
She's the one I always wanted to know more about because she was the one like before I started reading. I was like, oh, she's gonna be my favorite one. Which I mean, she's still pretty high on my list, but like I always want to know more about her because she just looks really cool.
I mean, she's kind of like the strong silent heart. In some ways, she's definitely there. The girls, unfortunately, don't listen to her plans most of the time.
Right. I mean, she has that iconic, like, what the junk line, like...
There are so many good lines and references and pop cultural nuggets.
Right. I'm trying to think of, God, what was that one? I can't even think of it. I had this one that I was like, oh, like, from the opening was like, what whacked up eyes you have. I was like, oh, my God. I'm in.
Well, because they're doing the Little Red Riding Hood.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so
and then,
amazing.
I mean, not to totally jump from character to writing, but there's so many. I mean, there was Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Necessity, and
that's a good one.
I was cracking up. And Don't Swing at the High Ones. There was definitely that reference in there, and I started marking them down because I was just like, oh, don't go on it alone. Zelda.
I was like, oh, my heart.
Well, and I like one of the things I think I like about this book so much is that it is kind of aimed a little bit towards a younger crowd, which just happens to be a lot of the comics I like to read, /books /everything. But it has a lot of great learning opportunities, like you mentioned, having the Fibonacci sequence in there, and so it's like, oh, I'm accidentally learning about science and math while I'm reading this, and it has a lot of great just those lines where, like every issue, there's some mention of some famous woman where it's just like, oh, my May Jensen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or who do they have? There's one that's like bell hooks. So they just like rattle off these great female role models, not accidentally. I mean, they do it on purpose, but it's just kind of like a throwaway line.
Well, yeah, it doesn't feel forced. It definitely, Well, I mean, especially with all the exclamations. At chapter 3, I think was my favorite, the Everything Under the Sun. I mean, because it's got April beating the statue and attributing it to leverage. So, you got some science there, and you've got Jo with her Fibonacci sequence, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah, they just have these it's like, oh, my Bessie Coleman. And then you're like, well, who's that? And you have to go look it up. If you don't know who they're talking about, it gives you like a great moment. And then you're like, oh, I learned something new today.
Right.
Totally. And I don't want to forget Rosie and Jen when we're talking about characters.
Oh my God. Yes.
I know someone on Twitter was mentioning Jen too, and Jen, poor Jen. She's got these crazy campers that just keep breaking the rules and disappearing. But she just, by the end, goes for it and goes along with them and makes it, and even helps save the day, So, too bad Rosie doesn't ever know her name, though.
Right. I always feel bad for Jen. I'm like, why? But, like, Rosie's such a good character, too. Like, I just loved how they portrayed her.
And at one point, there was one page where it looks like she's knitting, but then you go on, and basically whatever she was doing, it was to a cloth that she's polishing her axe with.
Yeah.
And then there's another page where she's just carving wood to have like a whole bunch of axes.
I kind of think of Rosie as like Miss Frizzle's like older sister.
Right? Oh my God.
Perfect reference. Oh my gosh.
I love that.
That like just crazy enough where it's like, oh, you're in charge and I'm intimidated by you and I'm going to do whatever you say. But like, you might be slightly not all there. I'm not quite sure what's going on. you might be putting me in mortal danger.
Yes. Oh my
But still
God.
feel very protective of me.
I just love like the mysteriousness around Rosie that you kind of get. Like you know she knows stuff, but like she's not telling you. I was like, yes.
Yeah, no, she definitely like the the mother the bear woman, she has the whole conversation with her, and then at the end she's calling, I'm calling your father, like she knew who everybody was, and so it's just like, what else does she know?
Yeah.
Right? That's what I want to know more of. Like I need to read the other issues now. Like really
Yeah.
bad.
And that's why being a camp counselor and director is way cooler than being a camper.
You know
Being a
everything.
camper, but it's like even more fun to be like, okay, now we're gonna go get cookie dough out of the kitchen because I feel like it, but I got to take you guys along because you're in my charge right now. So I think when I was a counselor, I mean, I kind of identify with Jen as an adult, being like, oh my gosh, everyone stick to the rules. But as a counselor, I was definitely not that. I mean, I didn't want my campers to run away, but it's my very loud washing machine. But it's kind of like, well, we're gonna do this now.
Right.
You're not in danger, but
We're going to it. That's cool. I've always wanted to go to camp, and I never went to camp, and so this was like my redeeming quality. I was like, I'm just gonna read Lumberjanes, pretend I went to camp.
yeah, it kind of works. Yeah, so I mean, and then there's other characters as well, and I love kind of just even the treatment of some of the mythological characters. So the Yetis are one of my favorite characters.
Hipster. They are hipster Yetis, people. I was dying. That was, I was just so excited about the hipster Yetis.
Right, I love how they're just like sitting against like the tree.
I know. And they got their music and like the tattoo. Like I've always loved Yetis.
They got their mustaches.
Oh, they were beautiful. Okay, I gotta find the picture because people got to see the hipster Yetis if they haven't seen
Oh my
it.
God. And I pulled up the panel. He's like, I'm telling you, humans are so gross. They almost touched me. I was like, yes.
I would just die if they touched me. And then they're like, yeah. So there's the first scene where they see one. They're kind of like, they both scream, and then the Yeti's like, I mean, bro.
Yes, so good. Yeah, see, hipster Yetis.
The beautiful hipster Yetis.
Oh, I love them. They're so great.
I just like the thought process behind it. Like, we could put Yetis in this book, but we need to make them hipster Yetis.
And then you've got the boys' camp, with the boys that are like making tea and cookies, and then they turn into zombies.
Right? You think everything's going really smooth over there, and then it doesn't. That's like one of my favorite issues is that whole one because they invite him over and they think it's all cool, and then it just goes south so fast.
Yeah, I remember reading that and being like, whoa, I was not expecting that to happen.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's see where this goes. Yeah, but definitely because I worked at a girls' camp, and then there was a Boy Scout camp on the same peninsula on the other side. So we didn't really see the campers around much, but definitely when we had staff off time, we always went to the same pizza place, and we're just like, those boy counselors are weird. Let's avoid the boy camp. So I kind of related to that bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have been very shocked if I went over there and they were making
just zombies.
Yeah, I totally believe that they're zombies.
Won't be shocked by the zombies, just shocked that they're actually doing things.
Yeah. Okay, well let's move into I guess kind of some of the plot. We've been talking about it a bit here and there, but what do you guys think about the camp in general? Just the name of it. I can't even pronounce this name. It's
right, I pulled it up too. I was like, I don't know how to even try.
Thisquin, Pentacle, Thistle, Crumpet.
Quizzle.
Quiznella, Thisquin, Panic, Quick, Quill, Thistle, Crumpet. Camps for hardcore lady types.
Lady types.
Yeah, so the best part about it is it's got this giant camp name, and it says camp for girls, but then the girls part has definitely been X'd out and it says hardcore lady types. Which
You know that was all Rosie's doing, right? Can't you just see her hammering that plaque up there?
Lady types. Hardcore lady types.
Hardcore lady types. I also love that, they've got the whole camp pledge, and there's a line crossed off, and it's always like, then there's a line about God or whatever.
Yeah. Is that in the first one? Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, that I like how the issues are laid out, where like each one sort of is almost like self-contained, but yet they kind of all like go together.
They all lead up. Yeah, each one's definitely a self-contained adventure with, Yetis or zombies or raptors or something happening. But each one, the sea monster, yeah. But each one leads up to the bigger end that we find out in 8 about Greek gods, which I did not see that coming. I kind of, when there was Diane and the arrow, I was kind of starting to lean that way, but yeah, didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Those whole,
but
like,
it didn't
Greek gods
feel out of place either. That's the thing,
Right, it goes together so well that it just flows really naturally. I love it.
I think maybe because you've already thrown so many supernatural things that you're just like, what's coming at us next?
Right.
And it works. It works beautifully.
Right, it's such a weird thing, like storytelling wise, especially in a comic. Like you think it could be too confusing, like going between the two, but like it's Lumberjanes. It works.
It works. It just for some reason. Yeah. And I love actually if you had the individual issues, the back covers are actually like the sashes you wear at a camp, and the badges that they earn.
They add on to each cover?
Yeah, so like here's the first one. So you've got the camp badge. This is actually the Up All Night badge. If you remember, Rosie's like, stop on, I'll give you the Up All Night badge. And then in the next one, they get the like water one, and then they get the pun.
The pun one.
This is the one that Joanna would get. She was a Lumberjane. The one for telling bad puns. And then they get the math one when they do the Fibonacci, and then they have the archery one, and then they just keep going. So it's really cool, and they actually made some of these, so I actually own a couple of them.
Me too. I had the little pin set. I wanted to get it out because I put it in a storage box. I wanted to get it out for this. I love it. They had them like a Comic-Con one year. Oh, so
yeah, I got those because they had them online, the leftover ones that didn't sell at Comic-Con.
It's like, yes, I should have worn my Lumberjane.
Aren't as cool as Megan and can't go to Comic-Con.
1 year.
Someday.
Well, I haven't been for the last 2 years, so
Okay.
You got to go next year.
My plan is to go back. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think the plot, you guys just have to read it. It's a lot of action, crazy camp adventures with mythological things, girls getting into mischief and trouble, friendship to the max.
Friendship to the
danger,
max.
adventure, romance. It's got it all.
It does. And a very hairy capture the flag game.
Yes. And it's from Boom Studios, so like everything they make is just like super amazing. So like just read it. And now they're like on issue. I'm not sure what issue they're on now. They're
like 20 something. Let's see, Lumberjanes.
And they've not only had Lumberjanes, they've had the Lumberjanes spin-off, and now they've just a few weeks ago did Lumberjanes and Gotham Academy crossover. So
yes,
I think,
but I haven't read them yet.
I haven't read them yet either. But I mean, and clearly, Lumberjanes definitely opened the door for a book like Gotham Academy, which and you can totally see Ripley and the girl from Gotham Academy having a great
Oh my God, yes,
and a great time together.
And the cool thing is, I know the rights for Lumberjanes have been bought by Fox or something. So
they have. Well, I have that as a note to talk about later on.
Yes.
But yeah, if you read Lumberjanes, or if you know a younger person in your life who reads Lumberjanes, they would really probably also like Gotham Academy if they're not
Yes.
reading it.
Gotham Academy is amazing.
Which is
It is
basically
so
it's set in a boarding school in Gotham. So
Damian
it's like
Wayne.
yeah, it's like Lumberjanes, but in Gotham boarding school.
So you got camping and you got boarding school covered, and they both have great atmospheres. Like, those are two of my favorite comics.
Yeah. Oh, they're fun.
And now I gotta go get the mashup now. I can't not read it now.
I know,
Right.
it's like all sitting in the other room.
I'm just so behind on everything. I'm like, one day I will catch up.
That day is not today.
Not today. Not today.
So yeah, we briefly touched on the CD mixes, but that was something when I was reading the first couple of issues. It's actually very cool. They have in the back kind of a playlist and then a cover based on all the characters, and even the design of the playlist is based on the characters, like how they would actually design a CD cover and a camp mix, which is, I think, one of the reasons I love doing camp mixes at Iggle Camp each year is because they do these, and it's kind of like, and I always did it when I worked at a camp too, is like I had a different CD that I put together that I would play, you know, that was kind of like my CD for the year, so it kind of actually hit home with me, hit camp home for me, to have CD mixes in the back. But you can also listen to them while you're reading the comic.
Yes.
Yay!
The perfect
Rosie
combination.
has "Feeling Good" by Nina Simone on her playlist. Can we just take a moment to talk about the genius of that? She's also got Etta Baker and even Amy Winehouse. So you know
Yeah.
Rosie is amazing.
She
Yeah.
knows what's up.
At some point, I'd like to know what's on the rest of Ripley's playlist, but she kind of covers everything, so you can't really see what's on her list after number 14.
See, it's so
Well-
my playlist.
Yeah, let's just ask Travis.
Right? Oh my god, just a bunch of grime so you can just dance.
Yeah, right.
Spice Up Your Life by the Spice Girls is
Yeah.
on Ripley's playlist.
Oh my god, I love that song so much.
Spice Up Your Life! Oh, yeah. good times.
Waterfalls by TLC. Yeah, this is a trap.
Oh my god, that is so me. That's actually frightening. I never even noticed that was on there. God.
The best.
They hacked your brain and created a
They
small
did.
camp girl from it.
They really did. Oh my god.
Doesn't she even have, I think she has a streak of blue in her hair.
Right,
too.
and it's funny
does.
too because I dress just like her. Like, I always have a flannel around my waist. God.
So if you're ever
copyright
walking in the
infringement.
woods, look up and make sure Travis is not in a tree about to, like, jump down.
Right? Yeah, because Ripley always goes flying, and in fact, like, purposely is thrown like a fastball.
If only I was
Yeah.
smaller.
And does a
Aw.
Tom Cruise, like, stealing of a gem.
Right. She knows what's up.
She does, besides riding the raptor, so.
That is true.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just, since the art.
Oh, that's
Because-
what I was about to segue into. Look at us.
It's perfect, yeah. It's just,
Win.
there's so much going on because it's so much adventure, but it doesn't feel overwhelming, and it's got this style. I just love it. It's gorgeous. And
Yeah.
it's each character has definitely got their unique style, and it carries through all of the books.
Yeah.
It's really pretty. That's the one thing I really loved about it. I don't know how to even
Feels
describe
like
the style.
camp.
Yeah. Like it's so hard to describe the style. Like, it just feels. I don't
It's
know.
not. I think one of the things about it, it's not overly meticulous.
Yeah.
But yet
yeah.
it is, because it does have this consistency all the way through. But it feels more free-flowing than some other comics do.
Yeah.
It feels more organic and just and
Yeah.
the greens and the reds are just amazing.
Yes.
Well, I think what's, because especially if you come from reading a lot of superhero comics where you're used to seeing the characters stand in each. How do I get my boobs to do what I want them to do? But they're used to seeing the characters standing in the same poses, and making the same faces,
Yeah.
and this is very, like, fluid with, how anatomy works.
Yeah, and crazy, you know, I mean, when Ripley's flying, her legs are all like, you know, and
Yeah,
elbows
yeah.
and
So it's more the characters because they are children, but like they're drawn more like children, and they're not standing in creepy weird poses. Like they'll stand there like, wow, what do you
Right.
But it actually will kind of it makes it feel more movement to a lot of the scenes. This is one of my favorite pages, which is them
Oh,
going down a
yes.
tunnel, and so it's like just even the way the different characters go down the tunnel is very true to them. So you've got like Mal going down on her stomach, and like Molly's grabbing her hat, and Joe's just like looks like she's playing basketball, and April's cannonballing, and then Ripley. So even just like I love the way they use the motion in the book,
There's
and
a
I
lot
like
of
the way they do the
emotion.
panels because there's a lot of like panel breaks like that, and where they're not necessarily the traditional
Yeah,
boom, 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 boom.
the statue arm wrestling one I think is a really good one, you know, because it's got the full page, but then it's got the few breakouts on it, and it works so well, and you get all that energy in it.
Yeah, yeah, you like see the movement because the panels are not just panel, panel, panel. They actually kind of all work together.
Yeah, yeah. I wish I had my issues so I could like show. I just love all the panels mainly from like some of my favorites are from the first issue, like when they're being introduced, just because
With
of
the
like
fox.
yeah, just because it's like it's nighttime and like really set the mood really well, and
It's
like
super campy and dark, you know.
Yeah,
So you've
yeah,
got the glowing lights, and
here's
then
some
you move.
foxes for you.
Yes,
Foxes!
foxes.
and it hooked me like so well, and I say it was just like yes, more
Beware the
please.
kitten, holy.
Oh my
See, this
God,
is when I was like, I'm a Molly, because it's like she fights it, and then in the next panel, she's like rubbing its belly.
right.
I'm like, that's me.
I'm trying to find my kitten Holy. I have one. My
You
friend
have a
got
kitten,
me.
holy.
I do. Oh my God, I better find this. It's somewhere
Where's
over
the
here.
kitten holy?
Yeah, my friend went to like some con and they were like having them, and I was like, you better get me one. Oh my gosh, where did I put it?
But yeah, and I love the way the lettering and the, I guess, word bubbles work too.
Yes.
Just because it does kind of have that same flow where everything is not confined to one
Super
panel.
easy to read, super easy to know where you're going. I know
Yeah.
some comics. I had a friend that actually gave me a whole bunch of comics because she's like, I don't know how to read these. I just get lost.
Good for you though.
But
Yeah.
you never get lost in Lumberjanes. You know exactly where you're going, and it's so clear. And the language is definitely young, but doesn't feel too young. You know, it's easy readability, but then you've got the little references that are sly that you know, reference more adult and or pop culture things like Yippee-ki-yay, Mother Necessity, which
Yeah,
was
yeah,
one of
yeah.
my favorites.
They definitely like. I mean, they had to market to like a whole, new like kids audience, but they also knew how to market it towards like adults because they knew obviously adults would read it, and so it was a fine line, but they do it so well, like so
Yeah.
well. I just love how all the characters are like so like different, like you have like Molly who's like a crush on Mal, and then you have like Joe who's like transgender, and it's just like really cool.
Yeah, I like that. I actually was just reading about that today because I'm not caught up on all the Lumberjanes yet. But I love that they, had that representation for Joe, and that they are, it's like not a big deal because it's not a big deal.
Right, it's just there to
Yeah.
be there, yeah.
Same thing with Mal and Molly, you know, it just is. Like,
Yeah,
and you never feel anything, you know, they're just these
they're not
great
forcing an
girls.
agenda. It's just like these are who these people are. Like,
Yeah, yeah. With friendship to the max.
yes.
Yes. The common.
So if you guys want to move on to talking about the fact that Fox just picked up the rights,
Yes.
I
so
did not know this. Like I said, I'm all new to Lumberjanes, but
well,
I'm totally
yeah,
gonna be reading more.
about a year ago they picked up the rights to make a movie, a live action movie version of Lumberjanes, and they have a director on board now. They don't have any casting announcements, so I don't know if you guys had any like people that you thought would make good casting roles. I started thinking about this, and I was like, I don't know like any teenagers.
I know. I'm like, who?
So
like the people that were young before, like aren't anymore. You know, like Chloe Moretz or whatever. I'm like, they're kind of too old. So who? Yeah. I'm like trying to think, what kid actors do I know?
Yeah, right.
I don't like, that's the thing, like I'm always bad at like casting types. Like the only stuff I've ever like casted in my head are like 2 books, like in my entire life. And like I like when the moment I read it, I was like, who could play this? Because I've always imagined Lumberjanes like as a TV show. Like I think that'd just be like a really fun thing.
It's very episodic, so it definitely work that way. It'd be interesting to see play as one bigger story.
I don't know like who could play who. Like the characters, I don't know who would look like that.
Well, looks can be altered, you know. Makeup and hair is amazing, but you know, personality-wise, I don't know like kid actors.
I don't know. I could see that's the thing too. Is like everyone that I would think they're kind of older now. Like I was gonna say Ashley Rickards, but like now she's like in her like mid-20s. Like I don't know.
As a kid, I think Kirsten Dunst would have been great for April.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Back when she did, you know, the Tower of Terror.
Oh my God, I love that
time
movie.
Machines out, and we like go back in time and like steal actresses from the early 90s.
Right? Like, why could you have made this earlier? Like, come on.
Right. Huh.
I don't like the only like kid actors I know are like the ones who play in Gotham. That's about it.
Yeah, they wouldn't really fit very well.
Right.
No.
Oh my God, this is a way harder question than I thought it'd be.
What about Jen or Rosie? Who would we think would work for them?
Ooh,
Who's the hardcore lady type to play Rosie?
Kate Mulgrew.
Right.
Obviously.
I mean, I could see it.
She bops up.
Oh my gosh, she would have to be. Like, they would have to cast her in that role. Like, yes. She's already doing a great job in Orange is the New Black. Why not that?
I was like her or like Carrie Fisher. I'm like thinking of the people that were like, you know, role models for me.
Oh my God, this is way harder than I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be like bam, bam, bam.
A chocolate eclair just appeared by me.
That is magical. I wish one would come through the screen to me.
Right.
I know. I just have my wine, so.
I have nothing. I have some hot Cheetos over here. Classy.
Yes. So I don't know. They'll have to do some cool casting kid calls for that movie. So if we do that, we get
Joanna mentioned finding new kid actors is A-okay. Think of the perfect casting from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So that
Right.
some people we have no idea who they are. That would be amazing.
Because I think like Maisie Williams when she was younger would make like a good Ripley, but she's too old now.
Old now, yeah. So I totally agree. Let's get some unknown people because those Stranger Things kids were amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was like, I think Amanda Steinberg would be good to be like Jen.
Oh my God, yes.
She's got that like stern attitude, but still kind of like fun.
Oh my God, I love her. Yes, I want her in this movie now.
Jen was wearing a physics sweatshirt at the end, which just cracked me up because she did not want to wear her uniform when she was participating in shenanigans. And so she had a sweatshirt that was all about physics.
I love her so much.
Yeah, what was it? Ringwald High Physics Club.
Which is another like reference to you know, 80s things that are for people more our age than, you know, the young crowd.
Me!
Cool. Do you guys want to move on to maybe some like final thoughts? Since we have about, you know, less than 15 minutes left.
Yeah. Lumberjanes is always gonna have like a special place in my heart because like from the moment I read it, like fell like head over heels for it. If you're into like sort of just like summery vibes, sort of like just summer camp. Also, like I like to recommend it to people who like Friday the 13th, like the Crystal Lake stuff.
If you like horror movies.
If you like horror movies, you try it.
Totally different.
Right, like I'm just like I feel like you'd like it. I would check it out. Also check out other Boombox comics issues like Teen Dog by Jake Lawrence. It's not in the style of Lumberjanes, but they're very similar to me, and like they go together really well. But yeah, I would just check it out and cherish it and have fun with it, and also catch up because there's apparently a million issues out that I haven't read.
27. I looked it up.
27
Oh my god, the
issues.
last
Okay.
issue I bought was like 16.
Well, I've read 8.
plus 2 specials and the crossover.
Man, and also buy all the variant issues. I have a lot of variant covers for Lumberjanes. So pretty. So pretty and
I
so
was
worth it.
just going through the covers in the back and came across the issue 6 Rose City Comic Con exclusive, and Ripley's got a whole box of donuts that she's just chowing down on.
She's me!
And I just love it.
Exactly what I would do in Portland.
I know, Portland, Oregon. It's got the nice deer that definitely goes with that issue. They're following that, and the Lumberjanes water tank. It's gorgeous. It's amazing.
Love them so much.
Yeah.
I would, like I said, I had not, I'm fairly new to comics. I think about the time this came out was when I was really kind of getting into them with the New 52 and my DC love. But so I haven't read it before, but I remember, was it maybe a year ago, I think, I ended up doing a post for Geek Girl Pen Pals about comics for young readers because a friend of mine had a bad experience in a comic book shop with their young daughter, and the recommendations came fast and furious, and Lumberjanes was recommended over and over and over again, and I kept meaning to pick it up but never did, and I regret seriously that I never did because it's amazing. And my niece is like 2 years old. Well, she'll be 2 soon, and she loves flipping page by page through magazines. So I was just talking to my mom about how I need to buy her some comic books to flip page by page through. So yeah, we're gonna start her off really early with some Lumberjanes.
Yay! It's a perfect comic to start off, and just like think of the Halloween costumes. Oh.
So easy, it's plaid.
Right.
Just style the hair.
Wear. Oh my goodness.
Yes, I definitely really enjoy this book. I think that it hits all my boxes for things I like. It's got lady friendships and mythological creatures and camping and raccoon hats and
that are alive. We did not go in there. She's got a hat that you think is just a coonskin hat, but it's a real live living raccoon that helps save the day and captures the flag, among other things. So
it's beautiful.
You really should have been wearing your cat.
Should have been.
If she would sit on my head, I would totally wear my cat. I almost wanted to start talking about cat nipples again, but I will restrain myself.
Oh my god.
That's a conversation for other hangouts. I would recommend this book to, a lot of younger readers, but also people who are into that sort of thing. If you like young adult graphic novels, so if you're into, if you've read like what is it? This last summer, this one summer, this.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
If
so
you
beautiful.
like that sort of thing, or Gotham Academy, or if you like Squirrel Girl, you might like something like this. That's a little bit more humorous, fun, adventure, friendship, that sort of cool things. And Boom is actually coming out with a book that I'm kind of excited about. It's called The Backstagers. It's all about like my elbow real bad.
Oh no, that's such a weird synopsis for a comic.
It's all about hitting your elbow. Who knew?
No, it's about like theater tech kids.
I love the cover for the first issue.
That sounds a lot of fun.
Yeah, which was like basically my life. Because I did the costume construction, so I don't know if they go that far backstage. Like backstage, down the hall, up the staircase, and around the corner. And that was me.
At least you were upstairs, not in a basement, you know?
I know,
Right.
that's nice. Well, the storage was in the basement, so you had to go down the stairs to get into the creepy room.
It felt like a horror movie, man.
It felt like a horror movie sometimes.
Okay, let's the three of us. Let's start a new comic. Let's write that one because that sounds like
Yes.
something we should read.
Yes. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one from Boom coming up soon too. If you would like a complete change of pace, next month we're going to talk about Pitch Planet.
Totally different direction.
I'm
But,
so
you know,
excited. I already have my
still-
permanent ink, so I am ready. I am ready.
Talk about
Not
going like
complain.
upstairs around the corner and down the hall.
I know, right?
But that said, hardcore lady types.
Hardcore lady types, friendship
There
to
we
the
go.
max, fights to the death.
But there's
It's
still this
all
whole
there.
women empowerment thing, so
Right.
it's not too big of a jump, but definitely not kid friendly.
Yeah, you don't want to give Pitch Planet to your small child. But we want to read it and we want to talk about it. So we'll be here, I think, on September
18.
18th.
Yes.
September 18th. Yes. To talk about Bitch Planet. And if you haven't read Bitch Planet, you should read Bitch Planet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just
I think I've only read the first couple issues, so it'll be interesting to read the trade and see where it kept going because I didn't keep up with it.
I haven't read issue 6. I think that's when they split the arcs, and so then I'm like, I need to continue.
I think this is like the only comic I'm actually caught up on. I'm going to have to see where the trade goes to, though, so I can reread them, because I would totally reread them.
Gotta pull on
Yeah, come for the comics, stay for the feminist essays in the back.
Yay!
Do you guys have any last words, or should we wrap it up here at Comic Club Central?
Just read Lumberjanes. I think that's it. Read it.
Yeah.
We're
Read
clearly
Lumberjanes.
all spewing love and love and love for Lumberjanes, so it must be good.
Must be.
Read Lumberjanes. Enjoy your last day of camp, and we will see you next month.
Yay! Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you. Bye, everyone.